Hey guys, I forgot to film an intro to this video because I suck, so this video goes into depth how to use MyFitnessPal and track your macros. I also show you how you can adjust them to your macros, and at the end of this video I've added in clips of how I meal prep. It's really basic. If you want a full day of eating, I can do that next. So like, comment, and subscribe, and let's jump in. So first off, you go to your app store. Obviously, you just type in MyFitnessPal. I am using somebody else's phone, of course, so yeah, you just type in MyFitnessPal and it should pull up. You're going to go ahead and download it, obviously, and you're going to sign in. When you sign in, you have a couple options. You can create your own login, or of course you can use Facebook. I just always use Facebook. It's the easiest way and the most convenient, just in case you lose it. So the first thing it's going to ask you is a couple of questions. So what is your goal? Do you want to lose weight, maintain weight, or gain weight? The next thing is how active you are. So just put in how active you are. I do work at a hospital sometimes, so I do put in that I am active. You put in if you're male, female, your birthday. You can also put in where you live or your zip code. I just put in my zip code. Other than that, if you want to change anything, you can always go back and change it. Next, I'm putting in my height, so I am 5'2". Sorry about the screen. I also put in how much I weigh, so I weigh 120 pounds. So based off this, it is going to figure out macros essentially for you, and you can adjust from there. The next thing you want to do is how much you want to lose. So if you are wanting to lose weight, how much are you wanting to lose each week? The recommendation is 1 pound a week. That is the normal. So based off what I put in there, it gave me 1,500 calories, and from there it will break it down into carbs, fats, and proteins for you. 1,500 I think is a good number for that, especially if I'm trying to lose weight. That's a great starting point. If it's not for you, you can definitely change it and move it around. Allow everything to use MyFitnessPal. So here we have, your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks, whatever. This is where you can go in and add things. Up at the top, you have your exercise, so it does account for your steps. If you're trying to lose weight, just don't pay any attention to that because you're trying to lose weight, not maintain it. So you just go to your goals. From here, you would hit your calories and macros. And up at the top, you see where you have calories. You can adjust it there. Other than that, it breaks down, like I had said, your carbs, proteins, and fats. You can go in. I like to mess around with my proteins and fats, so I use about 25 to 30%, and then the other 60% or whatever it is for carbs. If not, again, I go and adjust it. I go down and move things around. Just play with it. If you're somebody who likes more carbs, then up your carbs, lower your fats, lower your proteins, whatever you got to do. I typically like to keep mine the same before I got my coach. That's just what I did. I messed with it. I kept my carbs pretty much at 50% and divided the fats and proteins pretty evenly. I had to up my fats because I like that more. So I'm just showing you how you can go in and mess with it and just kind of play with it. Alright, so we're going to go back to the main screen. It's called the diary. It's down at your bottom. This takes you to your main, what you're going to be looking at. I'm going to show you a couple of things. So the first thing, when you want to add in food, you just click on that, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You hit that barcode up in the right corner, and it pulls up the screen so you can scan anything you want. You can double check it to make sure, but you would just scan it. It pulls up the macros, everything for it, and then you would just add it in. So the next thing is you can create a food. It's pretty awesome. If you have a food that you know or you've already gotten, you could just put in the calories, put in a description for it, the serving size, the servings per container. So here I'm just making something up. So I put Candace's muffin. The serving size would be 1 muffin, and then servings per container, just 1. And then from there, you would hit the arrow to keep going, because everything would be good, and you would just put in the calories and then your macros, so your carbs, fats, and proteins. You can add in fiber, you can add in vitamins, you can add in whatever you want. This is a good way. If MyFitnessPal doesn't have something that you scan, you can go in and add it yourself. So then you would just hit yes. You can add details. I just hit no thanks, and it adds it and logs it into MyFitnessPal for me. So as you can see, it takes it away, and that's the remaining I have. So I have 1432 left. So I'm just going to kind of mess with it here and show you a couple different things. The other thing is you can add in a recipe, you can create one, and so the way you do it, you can go in and you can even search for one. So people find things on Pinterest all the time. You can search for one. I just click on this and I'm just kind of looking through one and just picking something. So you pick whatever it is and it goes through and it takes the recipe that it has down at the bottom and it actually puts it into MyFitnessPal. All you have to do is go in and click on each one that it didn't confirm and confirm it or delete it. So if it didn't have one of the ingredients, you can just switch it out for one of the other ones that it shows as an option. I'm just picking random things. I'm not actually checking it, but when I would actually do this, I would check it. So if it's just like the instructions for it, just hit edit and then you can delete it, and then like I'm showing here, and just delete it off of there, and then you can go back to the bottom, hit done, and then you can add everything. So up at the right corner, and you just save it and log it down at the right hand corner again, saves the recipe and it logs it for you, and there you have it. It is in your FitnessPal. It's tracked. That's amazing, I think. Very, very smart. So I'm just showing you here the quick add. This is where you go when you like pay for the money for it, for the premium. You do not have to pay for it. I do not. I just use the free one. So, but if that is something that you think you would use a lot, then by all means go for it. So the other thing I'm just showing you is my foods. I create a lot of these. I think I have like 4 or 5 of them, like brownies or recipes that I find that I mess with the macros with. I just log it and I can save it for future logins. So if you wanted to delete things, you would just go up at the top left and you can just hit delete, or you can start over, whatever it is. So now I'm going to show you how I would log like a full day of eating with these macros. These are not my macros. These are just foods that I would probably use if I did have these macros, just a basic day essentially. So I've been eating pancakes because Candace loves pancakes. It's actually chocolate chip protein pancakes. So I just take the protein mix, log that. I'm typing all these in because I use it every single day, so I know what it is already and what the macros look for. You're gonna have to scan them in to begin with, but after that, MyFitnessPal actually saves it for you, so it makes it easier each time. So I'm just going in and I'm logging every single thing that I'm gonna eat. So this again is how you would meal prep. So during school, like I had said in my other video, I had no time to be trying to figure out what I wanted to eat or anything of that sort. So what I did, which I'll show you in a minute, I just copy and pasted every single day for a couple of days, and then I would just switch a couple things out throughout the week if I got tired of eating something, or if I wanted something different, whatever it was. I just switched certain things out. MyFitnessPal made it so easy. So the night before, I would just I would either copy and paste it completely, or I would copy and paste it, go in and delete like lunch and dinner and switch it out for something else. It wasn't that hard at all. It definitely makes meal prepping easier. So you see when I'm typing it in, it also has like create a food or a quick add. That's where you would find like the food you created or whatever it is. So the other thing you can see me doing is I am adjusting my serving sizes too. So there's another option for that. So not all the time can I use a full serving of whatever is rice, meat, greens, whatever it is. So you can definitely go in, and now it's actually got the option where you can go up to a third or an eighth, which I think is amazing. I know this sounds ridiculous. You're like an eighth of a serving, but hey, when your macros are really low and you really want to get it in perfectly, it definitely comes in handy. I definitely used it during prep. I even sometimes use it now, a third of a serving or half of a serving. It helps. If you go back into your diary screen, it actually shows you the grams. So again, I do weigh all my stuff out, so it makes it easier to where I don't have to get into my calculator and have to go in and do the math that way. I can just go to my diary screen and it says, if I put in a third of a serving for my rice, it says, whatever, 47 grams. So I'm just going to go through and show you pretty much what a full day of eating would kind of look like for this person's calories and macros. So enjoy. so now as I'm finishing up, I'm going to show you what the macros look for all of that. So down at the very bottom of the screen, you're going to hit nutrition. You're going to go over to nutrients. Don't worry about macros, it just divides it up in a pie graph. But here you can see I've hit my total calories or my total macros for protein, carbs, and my fats. Fiber was kind of low, so obviously I would have to go in and just move a couple things around that were higher in fiber. I usually like to add bread. That's one of my favorite things, like the 35 calorie bread. It has quite a bit of fiber in it. Other than that, I was just kind of looking to see if I can find anything that I could substitute out for the fiber. That's how you would do it. Here in a second, I'm going to show you how to turn it sideways, and it breaks up each meal separately for you. So there it is. The way this works is it shows you each meal. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and your snacks. You can see where you're spending more of your carbs at, your fat at, your protein at, and sugars and stuff of that sort. It's very helpful, especially during prep. You can kind of go and be like, oh, well, obviously peanut butter has way too much fat for what I am needing right now. So go in, adjust accordingly. And I love this feature. I actually just found this out. I think it was like 2 weeks before my competition show date, so I loved it. I wish I would have known about it sooner. Up at the top you can see that I have negative 53 calories remaining. Not terribly bad. It's not that big of a deal. Don't worry too much about it as long as your macros are hit. My Fitness unfortunately doesn't do it exactly to what my coach's macros or the macros he gives me, so it's always like that. I just briefly showed you what else it does. So it does show you your vitamin, sodium, and sugar intake. My sugar, like I had said in my other video, never goes above 60 to 80 grams. So here now I'm going to show you how you can copy and paste it. So you just go up to the left top, hit everything, select all. You can even just select breakfast, just like lunch, just like dinner or snacks. Move it to whatever day, 2 days out, 3 days out, next week, whatever you want to do. Most of the time I just do it for the next day. Other than that, it makes it very simple. So here I showed you how it's already there for the next day. Other than that, if you wanted to move things around, here I'm showing you how I go in and delete like just my lunch, just my dinner, move things around, just playing with it. Here you can search for other things, and I just showed you how I put in my lunch for the next day. Other than that, it does have a couple of good tips, ideas, good recipes that you can check out. I don't really use that too much. So the other thing I like about my Fitness is you can follow friends, and you can also log your daily exercise, your steps, your water intake, and then at the end of the day, all you would do, which I'll show you in a minute, you just go down to the bottom of your diary, hit complete diary, and it logs it for you. It keeps track of it for you. Also, it gives you reminders. My Fitness does. So you'll see a short clip at the end. It gives you, your goal weight and how long it'll take you to reach that goal in a matter of weeks. It does track all your progress for you. It's pretty awesome. I liked watching it and doing it during my prep. So now we're going to jump into my meal prepping. So here I'm just taking my ribeye chops. I freaking love these things. So I'm just going to show you how I season them. I love this seasoning. I just found it. You can get it at Walmart. It's got like a barbecue flavor to it. It is so freaking good. Another one I'm going to show you here in just a second I use is the one I use during my prep, which is Smokehouse, I think is what it's called. Seasoning, it's steak and chop. The other one I really liked was beer can chicken. That one was good also. So when I am cooking family packs of meat, I do use my griddle. I do put it on 350 degrees to start off with. You'll notice here in a second I do turn it down. I turn it down to 300, and I just kind of let it cook the rest of the way. It literally takes 10 minutes, I think. You'll also see me start doing other things. So I start cooking my rice if I have it, and then my broccoli. I do switch things out all the time. I switch my rice out for potatoes sometimes, or just different types of rice. Uncle Ben's microwavable rices are amazing. If you are watching your sodium, it is very high in sodium, so do take that into account. So I just season all of them and put them on the griddle. After that, I go ahead and start working on my rice. I have been loving jasmine rice. That's actually what I use in this video. I hate this word, but the rice stays very moist. It is very good. It doesn't get dry like the other rices I have tried. I'm trying to think, basmati, I think that's how you say it. That one's really good also. Same thing, it doesn't get too dry. Brown rice, I used to like it, but I'm not a big fan of it. I like white rices better. So here I tried to show you the macros for it. And if you could see up at the top, it does have the serving sizes and the grams and stuff like that. Here I just use microwavable broccoli. That's it. When it's done, I put it in for 5 minutes, and yeah, pretty simple. So it's 1:30 for the rice and then 5 minutes for the broccoli. So a total of about 6-7 minutes, and let it cool and all that. Here I'm flipping my pork chops. By the time I flip it the first time, I go ahead and I start making my sides, because after that it probably takes a couple of minutes on each side. This is where I go ahead and also adjust the temperature. So here you'll see me going ahead and getting ready to microwave the Uncle Ben's rice. Put it in the microwave, 1:30. So while the rice is going and then the veggies up next, I do start paying better attention to the pork chops, searing them on each side, make sure they are getting cooked thoroughly. Once they are done, I just get out a Tupperware container, as you can see here, and I just go ahead and put it in there. I was actually this is one of the meals I was having that night, actually, so I did keep a couple of pieces out, and here in the next couple of clips I show you how I weigh everything out, and everything was already tracked. So obviously I went ahead and zeroed everything out. Now I'm gonna go ahead and weigh out my broccoli. It just depends on how many servings I'm having today. I usually can't go over 4 servings. I end up going to the bathroom too much. I know that's probably TMI, but yes. So I usually have roughly about 4 servings, 3 to 4 servings of broccoli. So a serving of broccoli is 85 grams. I do weigh it after I cook it. I know everybody, or there's some people that debate about whether you weigh before or after. I do it the same way every single time, so I always weigh everything after it is cooked, no matter what it is, my meat, my veggies, and my carbs, or my rice, or my potatoes, whatever it is. So here I am doing 2 servings of broccoli because I was hungry. Now I'm gonna weigh out my rice, and yep, that is all I get. Just kidding. I obviously was struggling trying to get the rice out. So here, I think I did a third of a serving or half a serving. I can't remember. It was tracked. So I went ahead and weighed that out, and then I went ahead and already weighed out my pork chops. 4 ounces is a serving. 4.05 is okay. You're not going to die. I relatively get it close. If I'm in prep, I usually try to get it spot on. Yes, I do add more of the seasoning to it. When I get done with everything else as far as my meal prep goes, I put them all in these Tupperware containers, and I put everything in the fridge, and that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. My next video will be a full day of eating or my back workout, so just let me know.